Anno 1782, die 28 octobris, Nicolaus Paganino Antonii filii Johannis Baptistae et Theresiase Johannis Bocciardo coniugum, natus héri et hodie a me Praeposito baptizatus. Suscientibus Nicolao Caruta quondam Bartolomaei et Columba Maria Feramolla uxore. Niccolò Paganini was born on October 27 in 1782 in Genoa, in a building that no longer exists, at 38 Via Gatta Mora, to Antonio Paganini and Teresa Bocciardo. At the age of 7, he was initiated by his father Antonio Paganini, un ligaballe, packer of goods, at the port and an amateur musician, into the study of the mandolin, a very popular instrument in Genoa at the time, followed later by the violin and the guitar. His father was very severe. The study regimen he imposed Niccolò, hoping to make his son a musical phenomenon, was very harsh and forced the little boy into hardships and days of intense study. Niccolò would later say about his father that he was passionate by music but had no musical ear. Antonio was ambitious and severe, but the boy was very passionate. Being forced to practice the violin up to 15 hours a day hardly seems a recipe for a healthy childhood. Neither is withholding food and water as punishment for lack of enthusiasm. I really didn't require such harsh stimulus, writes Niccolò, because I was enthusiastic about my instrument and studied it unceasingly in order to discover new and hitherto unexpected effects that would astonish people. As the immediate result of his father's abuse, Niccolò's health became so scarce that he would never fully recover. Soon was needed a violin professor, for his father's knowledge was surpassed by the child. He was tutored by Giovanni Cervetto. He made very rapid progress, being allowed to play every Sunday at the concerts during the Messa. Soon he becomes the student of composer Francesco Gnecco, whom at 24 years old was very trained and presented himself as composer of chamber music and opera, especially opera buffa. At this time, Paganini starts to compose. It is mentioned a sonata for violin, which unfortunately was not preserved. It is possible that it got lost during his numerous pilgrimages, or perhaps he destroyed it, considering it not valuable. At 10 years old, Paganini becomes the student of violinist Giacomo Costa, maestro di capella at Cathedral San Lorenzo in Genoa, and orchestra conductor, whose student was also Gnecco. According to Schottky, Paganini's time with Costa was challenging due to the master's rigid methods, but it also provided him with a crucial foundation for his exceptional sight-reading ability. Costa's lessons involved a strict requirement for Paganini to play a new concerto each week at a church, which instilled in him the ability to sight-read exceptionally well. Schottky notes that Costa's pedantic style often clashed with Paganini's individualistic nature. In the 19th century concert hall, Niccolò Paganini emerged like a figure plucked from a dark fairy tale. His tall gaunt frame was cloaked in black, with his long jet black hair trailing like a shadow. He moved with quiet intensity, and when he raised his violin, it was not just an instrument but a magical wand, ready to cast a spell. Audiences didn't just listen, but were transfixed, caught in his nimble dance across the strings that felt almost unnatural.